6 apply to salary? Does it apply only to your cost of energy? That's what I was getting. It was a very confusing figure from Mr. Schmidt, who really went after the, excuse me, I should say Representative Schmidt, when he went after the 3.86 figure and said, well, if you throw out energy and you throw out food, then it was down to, I don't remember whether it was 0.1 or 1, but either way, unless he wanted staff to freeze and not have anything to eat and ride a bike to work, I couldn't see how anybody could just disregard the 3.87 figure that goes to cost of living for people. Every year, our medical insurance goes up. The little bit of what was supposed to be given to offset the medical insurance increase last year made my staff salary has gone down less. 2 years in a row. When you take out all the increases to the other things, such as Medicare and so forth. So I'm just looking for direction. Anybody.
They do not want to raise taxes to the taxpayers in Carroll County over 1% of the bottom line. Keep in mind that these are strictly guidelines that they gave us. That's guidelines. If we come in with a 2% increase, that's a heck of a lot better than the figures they were using of 13 and 18% increase. I don't know where they're coming up with all those figures. But it's guidelines, and we would request that you stay within 1%. But if there are some extraordinary circumstances whereby a piece of equipment or something that's necessary to perform your functions, I would say don't be afraid to come in and ask for it.
We're in a fortunate position because of our contracts with Connor, who maintain our equipment and have given us 3 years at the same rate. I have to also warn everybody, this will probably be the last year. I promised when we did a reformulation of our books and we doubled them up to make them double-sided, which saved us, at the time, I assumed it would save us 4 years of shelving, which is expensive, and 4 years of book covers, which are $81 a piece. And when you do 100 books, that figure gets to be a high figure. So because of the economy, I've actually been able to stretch that, and we may actually be getting it in 6 years of that benefit. So when, I came in and filled some shoes who were pretty tight with money, and I'm pretty tight with money myself. So when I plan a budget, it's really bare bones. I don't inflate it. I don't pad it. And fortunately, my subcommittees have usually seen that. But even I've had the unfortunate situation of having 2 years ago, they took off my overtime, and generally speaking, we don't need overtime. But when we've had 2 years in a row with one of our two different personnel people, but being out for 12 weeks, having surgery and allowed the 12 weeks. And in that time period, it's also been when people have been on vacation. And then you have a staff, if you're lucky, of 4 out of my 6. And when you're down to 4, and you do this for a length of time, we get through anything on a day-to-day basis. But when you go 4 and you're doing it for 3 months, it gets old and morale gets very low. Yep. And when you have that, then you have tension within your department. And I just
how is the morale in your department?
We're a very picky department. I mean, that's our job, to make sure everything is totally accurate. First person does their job, goes the second. That one gets proofread. When she finishes her proofreading, it gets proofreaded to me. I proofread in another format, and then it gets copied. But then that person gets their work. So we're bound to be picking flaws with each other. We do try to take that in stride and know that we're only human, but we all recognize that all those points in our office are there because we created them, and we want to make sure we we produce the best product that you can have.
I'm sure, and you do a good job, and your department does a good job. You got good people there.
And all my people have been there 10 years, so, or more,
Yeah.
and which means that a half a year, I only have 5 staff to begin with when you take vacations and without sick time, without anything else. So,
I'm kind of curious. You're not open today?
yes, we are.
What time do you start?
We open at 9. We're here 9 to 5.
Okay.
I don't allow anybody in the office before 10 minutes of 9.
Okay.
And that actually came from you people because of if anything should happen in non-working hours to anybody.
My watch was wrong then. Okay.
So, would you at least consider that when I do
We'll give you further guidelines as we discuss what we're going to try to do. But you were there at the delegation meeting, so I tried to go along with what your interpretation of what they were trying to say.
And that's what I was trying to do. Just trying to get. Was I in the same room with everybody else? Is what I was after. When one of them, who is most diligent in the dollar, started after all of this and decreasing and the cost of living got broken to bits, and he's saying, well, I know our salaries are out of whack and we need to increase the price for county attorney and we need to increase the price of the sheriff. And I'm going, you're talking about a 1% budget, and then you're talking about beefing. If I want to throw the salary thing at you people, you look at the chart for the across the state, and there's nothing that makes sense in the registry of deeds salaries. None of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We record the same as Belknap. That was brought up, and I think I've said it. The increases that are given to elected positions are never known who is going to fill them. And if they've left the positions alone based on the person who was there for 14 years and it worked up that they gave him increases over time, the new person comes in and gets it at that higher rate. That just doesn't make sense to me. But that's the way it is in the other counties.
Yeah. I think with our delegation, you don't know what they're going to do. If one of the subcommittees decides that somebody needs a raise, then they give it to them. We have no control over that. At least what I try to do in talking with the other 2 commissioners, is try to be as fair as we can with all departments. As the chairman of the delegation said at the last meeting, it goes around in a circle, so that not everybody gets raises every year, substantial raises, but maybe this year it's the county attorney's turn. And that's what she was saying. I do believe that our assistant county attorneys are not getting paid enough. There are other people on this complex, not saying that they don't deserve it, but are making more than an assistant county attorney. So I think, to be fair about it, we need to look at everybody's salary that are on salary, and then look at the wages as far as what % increase we would be recommending. It's guidelines. We don't know what the insurance cost is going to be. We're going to be changing insurance companies. And I agree, if the insurance rate goes up, then it's taken out of their money, so they're taking home less money than what they were making last year because insurance goes up. There's an insurance committee that's looking at it. I know one of the suggestions was that we pay 100% at one time. We pay 100% of a county employee, and that's it. The family is on their own. They have to pay that extra. I don't know what's going to happen to that committee, what kind of recommendation they're going to come up with. I don't know what's going to happen with whatever company that we decide to go with, whether it's going to be more costly or less costly for the insurance. I can't see it being less costly, but who knows what's going to happen. I think the percentage will stay the same as far as what the employee pays and what the county pays. And I don't want to get into the situation whereby a person who is on their spouse's benefits gets reimbursed for their money. To me, that's their choice. if they want to go with their spouse's insurance or they want to go with the county's insurance. Yes, it's saving us some money, but that's their choice. There may be a better benefit plan with their spouses. I don't know. But anyway.
Just one other thing, and I will at least alert the Sheriff's Department to it. This weekend, hopefully it will just be Saturday, but it could end up both days. They have to replace our server, so it has to be done so it doesn't interrupt business flow. So there will be. I will be
talking
here.
with dispatch to make sure.
I
that
will
they
tell
let
dispatch and let them know that there will be people coming in. I will be here to let them in.
You will? Okay.
Well, I'm in charge of the office. I certainly these are kind of corner people, but it's a responsibility of somebody to be here from the county to oversee them.
Okay.
So there will be anywhere from 3 to 4 people coming in, and if they can't finish on Saturday, they will be back on Sunday.
Where are they coming from?
Exeter.
Exeter.
It's an in-state company, which is we pride ourselves on using an in-state company who give us good service and quick service. I mean, they're either on the phone, can fix it from away, or they're here.
Okay.
Yep.
Before you leave, I just have a question. I'm still trying to get the numbers.
You don't want to try to figure those out.
No, about the monies paid. Which county would you say is closest aligned with our county from your department?
It's interesting because I talk with Barbara Luther, who's the registrar in Belknap all the time, because we're usually within one or 200 documents of each other, so it's pretty.
So it's Belknap.
Yeah. But if you look at that,
Sorry.
if you look at in the terms of county, you're probably looking at maybe Hillsborough being the biggest, Rockingham maybe.
I want to know which would be closest.
Which is closest to us?
To us.
Sullivan, Cheshire, Coas?
No, it would be Belknap would be the closest,
Belknap?
but Dorothy, I just have to warn you, that figure is a result. The Belknap County's salary is accrued. Charles Wheeler was there. Not Charles Wheeler, Mr. Wheeler, because I can't remember his first name. When I first started doing title work, he was the registrar, which I'm talking more than 24 years ago. And then Rachel Norman took over after him, and she just left 3 years ago, I think. So they never changed. They never readjusted.
They never changed the salary. They just kept it the same.
Yeah.
And go down to.
And when you look at
the project, you're learning the job. So
when you look at the other, well, no, she was an employee, so she did know. But
that's concept.
When you look at that, you've got Coas being probably the smallest county. With Sullivan's probably right there with them on as far as smallness. We're probably way at the the middle of the road. I think if you start with Rockingham and Hillsborough, and then Merrimack, Stratford, and Grafton would be the next tier, and then it would be Belknap and myself.
Yeah, that's the issue. If and when I get the figures, I mean these are only figures for appointed or for elected officials. When I get the figures, I just wanted to know what I'm going to be comparing them with.
Right. I could offer something to you, and I don't want you to read a lot into this. When you did the salaries, when the delegation set the salaries the last time, 4 years ago. Yes. When I first ran, I had the same benefits as the employees. The next term, the May before you decide to run, they took away the only benefit they said that the elected official was to have was single medical. That, when and if I decide to leave, what that does is stop somebody who works here, who's been an employee, who has coverage for themselves and their spouse, from being willing to step up and take over that position. I'm just enlightening you that in the future, that when they took away that benefit, you did it the year that Robin went full-time as county attorney, and that would have been the year that Sheriff Conley started as well. But I had already been here for 2 years at that point.
On another subject, we'll be asking department heads, elected officials. The delegation is very much interested in knowing how we compare with other counties. And I